Was the 80s really that good? Like all my aunts and uncles that were alive in the 80s, that grew up in the 80s, they always talk about it so fondly. Like about how, free it was, how cool it was, the fashion, the music, the parties, the clubs, all of that stuff. They always talk about it so fondly. And because I never experienced it, I've got no idea. Like all I've got to go by are photos from the 80s, movies from the 80s. And to be fair, they do look super cool. So, was it that good being alive in the 80s? Like, really?
If you grew up in the 1980s, you know it was a time like no other. From cranking up the volume to your favorite MTV videos, to spending hours at the arcade playing Pac-Man, to rushing out of bed for Saturday morning cartoons, and carefully crafting the perfect mixtape. It was a decade
I made mixtapes, but on CD. I remember burning CDs.
That gave us memories we'll never forget. So let's rewind time and relive those golden days with the things that made childhood awesome.
Dude, this is giving me nostalgia.
MTV launched in 1981, and just like that, it turned music into a visual experience. I still remember the first time I saw the video for Sweet Child O' Mine. It felt like the whole world stopped for those few minutes.
Iconic song.
Suddenly, your favorite songs weren't just on the radio. They had music videos with iconic visuals that stayed with you long after the song ended. MTV gave us a front row seat to the 80s music scene, with artists like Madonna and Michael Jackson lighting up the screen and shaping pop culture in real time. And we'll get into those legends in a bit. But for now, MTV was the channel that made music a non-stop part of our daily lives.
Would you say that Michael Jackson is probably the most famous person of all time? Like, who would you, apart from religious figures, like who is the most famous person to ever live, do you think? I can't think of someone who's Michael Jackson, apart from religious figures, no mentioning of Jesus. Like, who is more famous than Michael Jackson at their peak?
Saturday morning cartoons. Now that was the highlight of the week. Scooby-Doo, Smurfs, He-Man, Transformers, you name it, it was there. The second that NBC or ABC Peacock flashed on screen, you knew it was go time. No DVRs, no streaming. If you missed it, you were out of luck till reruns. And let's be real.
Wow.
We all tried to convince our parents that watching Super Friends counted as educational. Those mornings were pure magic, simple, silly, and so good. Remember when these round-faced dolls with their adoption papers caused complete chaos? Moms lined up for hours. Kids begged endlessly. All for that magical moment of unboxing. The sweet vinyl smell, the carefully chosen name, and the way everyone swore they were real. The clothes, the accessories, even those questionable yarn hairdos. People adored every little detail. Because in that moment, holding your very own Cabbage Patch Kid, it wasn't just a doll, it was a childhood treasure.
Wow. Really? Like, they look kind of weird, don't they? They don't really... I feel like if you gave that to a kid today, they'd probably be a little bit freaked out by it. But maybe for the time, they were quite realistic.
Nintendo Entertainment System dropped. It was a game changer. Suddenly, your living room turned into your personal arcade. Kids everywhere were glued to their TVs, blasting through Super Mario Bros., Zelda, and Donkey Kong. The 8-bit graphics might seem basic now, but back then, they were a whole new world. Of course, our parents set a timer to limit how long we could play, but every minute was gold. It gave us some of the best moments in gaming history. And in this video, we'll also take a look at another console that came out a little earlier, one you probably know well. Pac-Man was more than just a game. It was an obsession. You couldn't walk into an arcade without hearing that iconic tune.
Oh.
The simple concept of gobbling up dots while avoiding ghosts became a phenomenon.
Am I wrong in thinking that this is the most popular high-selling game of all time? Or is that Grand Theft Auto?
Kids, teens, even adults, all trying to get the highest score and maybe even see that infamous game over screen. The yellow circle with a mouth became a pop culture icon, and Pac-Man wasn't just a game, it was part of everyday life. Who else spent hours in front of that screen chasing the perfect run? For us, Blockbuster was the ultimate movie destination.
Blockbuster.
I've never seen 10,000 tapes in one store.
Every Friday
Netflix absolutely destroyed this business, absolutely cooked it.
night, we'd head to the bright blue and yellow store, hunting for the perfect VHS tape to rent. And sometimes, we'd walk out with more movies than we could carry. You could easily spend an hour just browsing the aisles, trying to decide what to watch. Those moments were a big part of the 80s experience, picking out a movie and having a fun night in with friends or family. Blockbuster wasn't just a video rental store, it was where the weekend began. Michael Jackson and Madonna were the unstoppable duo of the 80s.
So did they date Michael Jackson and Madonna? Were they ever like a couple?
MJ wasn't just the king of pop, he was the king of cool. His moonwalk on Motown 25 changed
It's
everything.
so smooth.
And the world couldn't get enough of his hits like Billie Jean and Thriller. Meanwhile, Madonna was the
Don't stop till you get enough. Keep up. Such a banger.
queen of reinvention. With every new song, look, and attitude, she kept us guessing. Whether she was singing Like a Virgin or Material Girl, she was always one step ahead. Together, they dominated the airwaves and set the tone for the decade, leaving an indelible mark on music, style, and pop culture that we still feel today. Before streaming and binge
Yeah, those two at their peak are probably the biggest or top 5 most famous musicians ever. But
watching, we had the mighty VCR. Getting your first one felt like unlocking a new level of freedom. You could finally record your favorite shows or rent a movie and pause it. No more waiting for reruns or racing home to catch something live. And let's not forget the classic Be Kind Rewind sticker on every rented VHS tape. Friday nights at home with a stack of tapes from the video store, that was peak comfort in the 80s. When the Walkman came along, it was like getting your own private concert, anytime, anywhere. Suddenly, you weren't stuck listening to whatever was playing on the radio. You had your own mixtapes.
going from the Walkman to the iPod must have been like any of you guys who, you know, listened to a Walkman, that was your main music device, and then you went to the iPod. How much of a game changer was it?
Your own music, right in your pocket. Whether you were riding your bike, mowing the lawn, or just trying to tune out your siblings, those foam-covered headphones were your escape. It made music feel personal in a way nothing else had before. This little cube showed up in the early 80s and instantly became the puzzle everyone had to try.
Rubik's Cube.
You'd sit for hours twisting and turning, hoping to get all 6 sides lined up.
I can do it.
No, you can't. No one can. It's bullshit.
No, I'm pretty sure I can do it.
No, you can't.
Some kids could solve it in under a minute. Those were the legends. The rest of us either faked it by pulling off the stickers or gave up halfway through and used it as a paperweight. It wasn't just a toy, it was a challenge, a trend, and for many of us, a test of patience we never quite passed.
Dude, it makes me want to get a Rubik's Cube. I'm going to try and get one.
There was just something special about making a mixtape in the 80s. You'd sit by the radio, finger hovering over the record button, waiting for your favorite song to come on, hoping the DJ wouldn't talk over the intro. It was like crafting your own personal soundtrack, with each song perfectly capturing a moment in time. Anyone else still have their old mixtapes stashed away somewhere? Let me know in the comments. Back in the 80s, if you needed to make a call, chances were you were looking for a payphone.
Dude, payphones. I've not used a payphone. I think I've used a payphone once in my entire life. Literally once, I think. Yeah.
They were everywhere. On street corners, in gas stations, and outside stores. No texting, no instant messaging.
Wow.
Just a coin and a moment of waiting. Sometimes you'd find yourself digging through your pockets for enough change to make that call. And let's not forget how awkward it was when the person you were calling wasn't there. Still, those payphones were our lifeline.
I feel like these days a lot of people would be scared of the germs. They'd be like, oh my God, it's not hygienic.
Giving us a way to stay in touch when you couldn't be home or didn't have a landline. Wrestling in the 80s was pure excitement, and Hulk Hogan was the larger-than-life hero we all looked up to.
I know he messed up bad, I know, but rest in peace, Hulk Hogan, man. I mean, I know he said some awful, awful things, but he was a big part of my childhood, man. He really was.
We were obsessed. We'd watch him rip his shirt off, flex those muscles, and all secretly hope we'd grow up to be just as strong. He made it feel like good always won in the end, with that signature, "What you gonna do when Hulkamania runs wild on you?" The WWF was packed with wild characters, flashy outfits, and storylines that had us glued to the screen. But for us kids, Hogan was the man.
Yeah, man.
The
he
Atari
was.
2600 was our first
It feels like classic wrestling was better than the modern day stuff, I think, like WCW, WWF. It's better than the new stuff, isn't it?
real taste of home gaming. Sure, the graphics were far from realistic, think simple shapes and pixelated colors, but that didn't matter. It was all about the thrill of playing something new. Games like Space Invaders and Pac-Man pulled us in, and we'd spend hours trying to get that perfect high score. It was a time when video games were an exciting new frontier, and every joystick movement felt like an adventure. For many of us, the Atari 2600 was the start of a lifelong love for gaming.
I never had an Atari. God, I really wish I played one.
The Smurfs were everywhere in the 80s.
The
These tiny
Smurfs.
blue creatures lived in mushroom houses and got into all sorts of mischief, led by the wise and caring Papa Smurf. Every Saturday morning, we'd tune in to watch their
I love how Papa Smurf is the only one with a beard.
adventures, hoping they'd outsmart the evil Gargamel and his cat, Azrael. The Smurfs weren't just a cartoon, they were a world of imagination, filled with quirky characters and heartwarming moments. And let's not forget about that theme song. If you were a kid back then, it's likely still playing in your head right now. Polaroid cameras were a game changer in the 80s.
Dude, I love how Polaroid cameras, the picture, I love how it's not completely sharp. It's got that retro look, if you know what I mean. Like, you know what I'm talking about.
Before everyone had a phone with a camera, getting a photo instantly was like magic. You'd snap a picture, shake it for a few seconds, and then watch as the image slowly appeared in front of your eyes. It wasn't just about taking pictures, it was about capturing moments that you could hold in your hand right away. And even though digital photos rule today, there's something special about those vintage instant prints. If this video reminded you of the good old days, there's plenty more to explore on the channel.
To be fair, it does make the 80s look super cool. It just feels like it was lighter, if that's a word that I can use, you know, just lighter, like not as serious. I'm sure it had its issues. I'm sure there was a lot of stuff going on, but anyone who lived in the 80s, any of you guys, would you agree that things just felt lighter, less serious, less doom and gloom? Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.